Hey, welcome to a gaming video. We're going to be doing a tutorial of, well, not a tutorial. This is not a tutorial, this is not a walkthrough. I don't want to really spoil a whole lot about this game, but I do want this to be a primer for people who start playing it and are like, I kind of want to know the techniques, whatever, or if they're getting stuck on something, they're getting stuck on a jump, and they want to see, okay, how should I be doing this kind of maneuver, but they don't want to get it spoiled. This video is for you, and I wish this video existed when I was playing, because the only way I could do that was like feel shitty and watch like a full ass walkthrough to get to the spot I was at, get spoiled on how far I was in the game. I don't want to do that. I will show some areas which exist probably past the start, but we're just going to keep it to techniques. We're going to go over some concepts. So why am I making this? This seems weird, especially on my channel. I might put up some of my historical content on screen. I really like this game. You might think this is a game that's one of those like, oh lol, streamer rage bait, like a streamer will play it one time and then they'll never play it again, which is probably true for a lot of streamers, but you might think it's something like Only Up, where like it's relevant for 2 weeks and then nobody gives a shit about it anymore. I don't think that's the case here. I think this is a game with really satisfying mechanics. I think this will have more longevity, more impact, kind of like Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, which this game is very much unapologetically inspired by. Not the same developer, but very much inspired by. And I think this game is going to have more relevance over time, just as that game. I feel like there's some others I'm missing, like Alt F4, Rage Quit, you know, a lot of these Foddy-esque rage games. I feel like this one is the best designed one I've ever played in terms of the actual movement mechanics. This game is very enjoyable even when you fail, in my opinion. So yeah, anyway, this is a game that is fun, and I wanted to do a tutorial because I was seeing a lot of people online really not understanding what they were doing wrong. Not naming names, but not to be like a get good kind of guy, but like I've seen a lot of people online playing this game and they need to relax. Okay, this game should be meditative. But enough preamble, let's get in. So once again, this is not a walkthrough, not a full walkthrough guide. This is just technique, going over core concepts, make you a better player so you can play it by yourself, go through all the motions, not get spoiled. This is also not a speedrunning guide, although a lot of the concepts will be transferable if you do want to speedrun, because a lot of the things I'm going to go over, like, you cannot ignore if you want to truly be like god tier, going for world records, stuff like that. But I'm not explicitly going for that market. Like, if you've already beaten the game a couple times, by necessity, you probably understand everything I'm going to go over in this video. But if you've only beat it once, maybe, and you got really lucky, maybe you'll learn something here. So what is my cred? My credentials are, I beat the game. And it took me like 6 to 7 hours. It took me a long time. Now, you might think, hey, it took you a long time, why should I trust you? Doesn't that mean you suck? I don't think so. It took me a long time because I was very purposeful in trying to understand what I was doing wrong when I was doing it wrong. And I think 3 of those 6 to 7 hours were spent at the final section, which is one of the most unforgiving, Foddy-like experiences I've ever been through. So yeah, it took me a long time, but I studied walkthrough videos to see what people were doing, how they were doing their maneuvers. Not to be like that Tony Stark meme, but I guess I, became an expert last night. Anyway, let's get into some PSAs. By the way, you might see me like going down. I have some notes on my phone right here. First and foremost, number 1 rule of this game, take your time. Okay, unless you're speedrunning, by which point you're already probably good. But if you're just playing for the first time, take your time. This can be a very good meditative experience if you want it to be. All right, it's also going to make you less prone to panicking. You're going to be better if you just take your time, kind of relax, breathe. All right, another PSA, use one of these fuckers, okay? Do not use mouse and keyboard. I don't want to be like, you know, you must do this, you must do this. But I'm telling you, for the 20 people watching, for 19 of you, you want this, buddy. Throw this sucker into the trash, okay? Throw this guy into the trash. Why do I recommend a gamepad? If you have one. Because obviously if you don't have a gamepad, use mouse and keyboard, you'll be fine. It just might be a little bit harder for if you're a beginner. Why I recommend the gamepad is you're going to see people play this maybe before you buy it. Watch some videos. You're going to see gameplay and think, I need to go fast. Like, I need to be... Okay? You do not need to do that. That's the first cardinal sin of this game, thinking you need to make fast movements. You don't need to make, like, really fast twitch movements. I feel like I'm going to be channeling my Obi-Wan, like, Luke, let go. Trust your feelings, you know. You got to use the Force, all right? And use a gamepad is my recommendation. You could use a mouse and keyboard, but the concepts we're going to go over also translate to mouse and keyboard. Last PSA, not the most important, but deserves mentioning, your hands are going to hurt. No matter if you use mouse or keyboard, gamepad, if you play for like an hour to 2 hour plus, your hands are going to feel it. Maybe not in the moment, but you'll feel it later, and you'll be like, oh man. I mean, I know the thing that got me to finally switch to gamepad was I was using mouse and keyboard. Like, I was using Q and E like this. I'm using my mouse and keyboard right now. I was using mouse and keyboard until one time I switched games and my pinky finger had like a straight up cramp, and I was like, that's terrifying. I'm gonna find a way to do gamepad. Anyway, I don't know how much I'm gonna edit this down, but I've been here for like 7 minutes, which is not ideal. I gotta trim some of the fat. So let's get into it. Back to gamepad. Let's start by talking about the physics, okay? I've seen the video that the developer made on how he made it. Mad respect, by the way. Very cool to make a game like this solo. Let's talk about the physics. When you move your joystick or mouse, you move both the hands, okay? Your hands are going to be going in the same direction. So I'm not doing 2 sticks, I'm just doing 1 stick. It's moving both hands, right? When you grab onto a wall, the movements you make are now opposite on the hand that's grabbing. So like if I push up with my joystick, my character's right hand is going to push down. So it's like opposite, right? This is important. Knowing the physics is important because it'll help you understand why some movements are the way they are. When you are not moving, there is no force being applied. So I don't want to get too deep into physics knowledge, like real life physics knowledge, but when no forces are being applied, you can be here. Nothing's happening. If you have both hands grabbed or just one hand grabbed, you can just let it sit, okay? No forces are being applied right here. And that's it. Like, if you understand those basic rules of how the hands work, you are learned, okay? So let's finally get into climbing. If you want to climb up, you just up, stick, grab, alternate your hands, all right? This should feel really intuitive, okay? When you see videos, you might be like, oh, these controls look hard. As soon as you start, you're gonna be feeling the flow, okay? Now, something to realize, let me try to get as low as possible here, okay? I'm purposefully down quite a bit from the overhang above me to show you that even with a not really fast moving gamepad controller, all that matters is the technique. To get your highest hand up, you want it to be down first and then shoot it up, and that at the apex you can grab. And look at that movement right here. That's crazy vertical gain. That's what you're capable of with your character. And you could keep doing that. You can chain together those very large movements, and that's not fast twitch, okay? It's very deliberate. It's very flowy, but you know, again, if you really want that top tier vertical movement, it's all about going from one opposite edge to the other, from bottom to top, all right? And you'll get crazy coverage, all right? Yeah, I guess the horizontal, it's not as important, but like, we'll go down to where I was over here. You could see if I go like that, I I was reaching up. I was able to get it, but if I just keep holding up, I'm not there. So I guess the note there is for vertical, you want to really take advantage of that kind of movement. That's a very important movement. It's going to help your ass a lot. And you know, something to note here is if you miss a movement, like oh no, I missed. Oh, I missed. You're gonna like fall down and stuff. Like, see, the right hand's moving down. It's okay. Don't freak out. You know, it's just like, okay, I moved down a little bit. Control your movements up. Get right back, and you're golden. Okay. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of schmovement right here to show you it's not about speed, okay? It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour, you know? Like, I'm not looking like a speedrunner right here. But look, it's flowy, okay? It's easy does it. Okay, that was not easy does it, and see, it didn't help me out. But just like right here, just, oh, buttery smooth, okay? That's what it's all about. Let me get back here to we'll get back into the water. Bring it back to the start. Most of the moves in this game are just normal climbing like this. Most of the movements are just this. And if you can do this, not panic, be a-okay, you're gonna be able to take care of most of the movements in this game. Let's talk about small holds, because sometimes you're gonna find yourself on small holds. Most of the concepts transfer over from just normal climbing, but it's just a little bit more, things are a little bit more saucy. Granted, this is a large hold in terms of its horizontal coverage, but it's a small hold in terms of how much room you have vertically. So see what happens if I like try to go up and then oops. Oh, oops. Look, I lost it. When you're on a small hold like this, you want to make sure that if you can, you're always as high as possible on the hold. So notice right here, okay, I did have my fingers like at the top. Yeah, so my fingers are kind of at the top right here of this branch. Now when I make one movement and fuck up, I'm like going down. So if I was in a really precarious situation, I'd want to correct that hold. I'd want to correct that hold, make sure I'm always as high as possible. That way I can retry at any given point. Like right here, that hold isn't great, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, always make sure you're at the highest point on these kind of small holds like this, so that way you don't fall down when you miss something like that, when you miss a maneuver like that or like that. Another important note here, there are going to be times where it's very important to like not do this wibbly wobbly. If you want your hand to be somewhere very precise, you got to be very precise. So say I want to get like on this little intersection right there, you got to really finagle the stick or mouse, be really slow with it, and then, oh, okay, I guess not. That wasn't physically possible, but yeah. Really get used to making slow movements like this. These will help you out late game for sure. The only time you ever want to really fall is on a jump you fuck up, because jumps are the hardest, okay? And you will fuck them up, but you do not want to fuck up little parts like this where there's no jumps. Like if a jump was not necessary and you fell, you made a mistake, and you're gonna have to learn from that. Okay, also while we're here, let's talk about slippy surfaces. So this is like, you know, you can't grab on, right? Can't grab onto this slippery rock. There are other slippery surfaces throughout the game, but this is the earliest example. I would not ignore these. When you first play, your first instinct might be like, oh, this is a slippery rock, I'm gonna ignore this shit. I'm just gonna pretend it doesn't exist. Do not do that. These slippery surfaces can sometimes like help you out. They can sometimes be like a safety net. Sometimes you might have to make movements where you go down, and you could like, you know, use it to do something like that to safely get down like this, right? As long as you're grabbing onto slippy surface, you can slow yourself down, you can control your fall, you know, you can, if you get advanced enough, you can kind of steer with it too, although I don't even think I'm there yet. But yeah, slippy surfaces, do not ignore them. They can be kind of a helpful tool, especially like there's some jumps mid and late game. There's two jumps I'm thinking of in particular where if you just ignore slippy surface, you will die or you'll just fall. But if you know how to, if you know that you can do this, you can save yourself like that. So slippy surface, they can be your friend. All right, what's next? Jumping. Okay, so let's talk. This is the real crux of this video, the real inspiration. People on YouTube, not YouTube. I actually think that a lot of the people I've seen on YouTube, especially like, the world record speedrunners, all that crap, they know how to jump. But a lot of Twitch streamers who are playing for the first time, they don't know how to jump, okay? So let's talk about jumping. Let's get to the famous first motherfucker jump. Now, I'm going to fail this jump first. Well, actually, no. This jump is very easy. So we'll talk about what not to do with the jump. Your first instinct is going to be doing this, okay? Your first instinct is going to be swingity swaggity. Look at my hands, okay? They're sliding, they're slipping, they're sliding. That's not good. Let's just see what happens when you want to do like a swiggity swaggity jump like this, okay? Do you see that? Okay, so I hit that jump, but my ass was flipping. And when your ass flips, your hands go underneath. They go underneath your body. Let's try it one more time here because this is a lot of real estate. See that flip? You do not want that. Because yes, it looks like you did a long jump, but your vertical gain is it's negative and it's not good. Let's see again, like how, like say I was shooting for a little bit left to the bone that's sticking out, right? Say I was aiming for that green patch. Now that's something that's a hard jump, maybe doable. Let me see. Yeah, see, that's doable. I could make that jump. But if I try it, and we'll get into the good form later, but if you try to do the swiggity, swaggity, flippity, look at that. Get nowhere. And let's get really violent with it so you can see I'm not like purposely fucking it up. Like, let's get really fucked with it. And it's just not there, man. How to jump. First of all, there are no vertical jumps in this game, okay? If you find yourself, hey, I need to like dyno, some climber lingo for you. Like if you find yourself going like, oh, I need to do this, that's not gonna work. You're gonna get nowhere. Okay? See, like that's nothing. So all jumps in this game are horizontal, or like at least mostly horizontal. Now the biggest note: all jumps are possible via one-hand swings like this. And I shouldn't even say swing. All jumps are possible in this game like that, okay? Look at that horizontal gain. That's crazy. That's good. The biggest rule of jumping is do not swing like a swing. See my hand? Don't do this downward arc. You're going to get nowhere. Let's see what happens when I do that, okay? Nothing. That's like a wet fart of a jump. Now, it's okay to get momentum on this side. Like, you could do whatever you want to get momentum on this side. But as soon as you want to jump, this is the most important part. You want to aim directly at or slightly above your target. Now, in this case, I'm going for that green patch to the left of the bone that's sticking out of the ground. I would probably aim my arm like right there for some vertical, but like I'm not gonna go down and up because you just saw earlier that got me nowhere. I mean, we'll do it again. See, that's terrible. Terrible. If we want the best jump, we want to go, I like to think of it as just left to right, okay? Look, see, I'm getting great swinging, and look at my hand. The hand is the most important thing to look at, okay? The hand is just going left and right, but we're swinging, all right? I'm going to go back up because we lost a little bit of ground doing that. But yes, you go left to right, get your swing, but when it comes time to jump, the most important thing is that you shoot your arm out like that, okay? You don't swing it, you shoot it. The line should be straight. It shouldn't be arced. So let's just try one. Look at that, man. Even when you know how to that was a good one. That was a good jump. Even when you know how to do it, it's not 100% reproducible, at least at my skill level. Knowing is half the battle. And let's just really get this point home right here, okay? While we can practice. Like, that's a good horizontal jump. It's just, I gotta drive this home. Don't do this, okay? You're gonna waste horizontal momentum. Just do straight lines. That one was like a, I don't know, 55% jump. Let's get like one more 100%er. Not good. Let's get one more like really good one. That was great. That was a great jump. That brings us here to the farthest point I'm okay with spoiling. So this is no joke a hard jump, okay? And I might fail this right here. Do not feel bad if you miss this jump, but yeah, let's try. Let's see what we learned. Because obviously if I do the like two-handed swing, I might make it, but I would have been lucky to do so. We maximize our chances by trusting our instincts, and honestly, you don't even need to rush it. If you think about doing it too fast, you're probably gonna like you'll get screwed up. You'll flippity floppity. You won't be great. But let's just easy does it. Look at that. Okay, I might even go back to show you how much I trust the process. Look at that. No fear. We'll do it one more time. Do it one more time. Okay. Okay, that was a bad jump. Bad jump. But that's just the nature of the game. So I hope I covered like most of the core concepts. Biggest points to take home. Do not rush. Take it easy. Don't panic if you fall. It's not the end of the world. And for your jumps, straight line it. Don't swing like a swing set. It's all about these straight lines. Like, look at that. That's a crazy jump, man. But anyway, if you keep all of this in mind, if you take this taking it slow mentality all the way, you might find yourself getting that kind of move down. I hope this helped for the 20 people who are going to watch. And we're going to try this jump one more time. And I hope you have a spectacular day. It's a hard game.